Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres along with Fred Altvater. Every week we check in on the world of golf to bring you the latest news, insights, analysis, interviews, recaps, previews. Here we cover anything and everything golf. In other words, if it happened in golf, we have it for you. And today, Fred, we have to talk about, the fourth major of the year is over, and there has been so much changes with the LIV, the players that are not here. I was just looking at the rankings, and we have to talk about the status of the tour and the players, how the rankings are coming up, what to expect in the future. But first of all, how are you today?
Carlos, great. We're having some beautiful weather. I've been up here in Michigan for about a week now, and the weather is just fantastic. Took a couple drives over the weekend with the convertible with the top down. Went to dinner a couple different times. It went along the lake, sat on the beach. It was pretty nice, relaxing weekend. Oh, and I also watched just a little bit of golf this weekend. It's nice when golf is in the morning, so you can watch that and be done and go do stuff the rest of the day. I really enjoyed watching the Open. I really was pulling for Rory. I had him picked. I thought he had it won. Cam Smith really turned it on, got it done on Sunday.
He definitely did. And he's one of the guys that we're going to be talking about because four majors, four different winners, three first-time winners. So the Masters, Scottie Scheffler, first-time winner. Then you have the PGA Championship. That's not a first-time winner, but Justin Thomas, nonetheless, was not being the one that you would say he was the one expected to win. Nevertheless,
I've been telling you all year that Justin Thomas was going to win a major. I've been telling you.
Well, he did.
He never listened to me. You're like my wife. He never listened to me.
He did. And then now after that, you see in the US Open, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Kieran's pick, and that's another guy that we have been expecting him for a long time to finally break through, and he's been slowly but surely getting to the top, finally earned his first major. And now Cam Smith from Australia, who won at the beginning of the year, won the Players' Championship, the unofficial fifth major, right? And then faltered badly there at the Masters. And you would say back then we were saying, hey, it's not about if, but when Cam Smith is going to win a major. Well, look, he did it right now in the Open. And he definitely earned it. But going about this, three players that we really were not talking about last year or before that, you would say, okay, these are top 10 players, so you are going to be constantly talking about them as constant threats to be at the top of the leaderboard. Less than that, hey, winning majors, and here they are. And when you look at the rankings, you see official world golf rankings, Scottie Scheffler is number one, Cam Smith is number two. Then you have Rory McIlroy expected to be at the top there, number three. Patrick Cantlay, another player, you say, wow, another new player on it. John Ram, former number one, just recently before Scottie Scheffler dethroned him, he's down to number five and somehow having some of a stealth season. Then you see Xander Schauffele, super hot, 2 wins in the past 3 weeks. Justin Thomas, like we mentioned, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland playing awesome. And at some point, you would have thought that he might have won also the Open. He was there tied with Rory McIlroy after the third round. Matthew Fitzpatrick is 10, and then Sam Burns 11. So, Fred, how about these new faces? How does it feel? Because the point that I will get to pretty soon is like, I was talking today to a coworker because he listened to us and all that, and I was telling him, so how you feel about Cam Smith and all that? It was like, yeah, he's a great guy, it's a great story, but I don't feel like inspired by his win.
Even though the mullet doesn't do it for you.
It's like, well, he's not a name that calls him out, let's put it that way. So and he says, there's a lot of players like that, so is this the new normal? But anyway, let's talk about this new players among the top of the rankings.
Well, Cam Smith has been building. We've kind of seen this, right? I mean, we've been watching him. He's playing well. I mean, anybody wins the Players, the tournament champions, my goodness, that's a no slouch field, right? I mean, that's the best of the best, and he beats those guys on a long hitters golf course. Kapalua is, I mean, you got to be long to really do well. Well, he's not the longest, but man, can he putt? Woo, he can putt. They showed a stat one day. I can't remember which one. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe that Cam Smith had through like 15 or 16 holes. Cam Smith had made 84 feet of putts, and Rory had made 24. Okay, there you go. And I said to you before we went on the air, talking about the Open Championship, Rory, and I had picked Rory. I was all in with Rory all the way. I didn't pick anybody else. I really thought Rory was going to win this, especially when he's right up there. After the third round, he's right there. I thought, okay, he's got this thing. He knows what to do. And he played almost a flawless round of golf. Tell me where he made a mistake. He really didn't make any mistakes. It's just that a couple putts didn't fall in for him. And I really thought he needed to shoot 68, 4 under, and he only was 2 under. And Smith made all those putts and made all those birdies to slip around him. But Rory hit to the middle of the greens. He just, the putts were close. He had tap-ins all day long. I think he had 36 putts. I think he 2-putted every green, right? I think something like that. But that aside, to answer what you were talking about, Carlos, and the guy that really has had an awesome year, has kind of got bypassed here the last month or so, Scotty Scheffler. He's got 4 wins. Fantastic year. Scheffler won the Arnold Palmer. He won the Phoenix. He won the WG match play. And he won that little golf tournament in Augusta, the Masters. So, I mean, and he's had a bunch of top 10s. Fantastic year, sitting at top of the world rankings, sitting at top of the FedEx Cup. Now there's a guy, we've seen him coming on for about a year, but boy, all of a sudden just caught fire and did it. Getting back to Cam Smith, really solid player. And I don't know he's going to be a world beater. He's not going to be someone who's going to dominate week in and week out. But with his short game, I mean, that travels. That'll play a lot of golf courses. So he could be a real competitor in a lot of events coming up. But Carlos, I look back at the winners from this year and look through. We've talked about Cam Smith. We talked about Scotty Scheffler. Rory won last fall, and then he won again in Canada this year. So he almost won the Open Championship, and he's been up there on the top of the leaderboards on several tournaments all year long. So it looks like he's back. He's regained his world-class form, and I think Rory's ready to go on a binge, a winning binge. I really expect to see him right up there doing well. But the guys, and I mentioned this before, the PGA Tour is not in bad shape here, guys. The LIV is making a lot of noise, and they're grabbing some of these big names, and guys that maybe were hurt a little bit, or they're getting older and they're past their prime and they're having trouble competing. Yeah, let them go to the LIV. That's fine. They can take the guaranteed money. But we got Xander Schauffele. Oh my goodness, what a player! He won the team event with Cantley in addition to the 2 other wins that he's had, the Scottish and I forget what other one, but all in the last few weeks. You got Jordan Spieth, who everybody loves. When Jordan Spieth is playing well, everybody watches, right? And Jordan was kind of in the mix early in the week here, and he was in the mix a little bit in Scotland as the Scottish Open as well. You got Justin Thomas, Matthew Fitzpatrick won the other 2 majors. And then you've got Victor Hovland, Sam Burns. These are the guys that won a bunch of the PGA Tour events, and they're the marquee names. These are the guys that people want to pay money to watch or sit on their couch at home, glued to the big screens, when these guys are in contention. And don't forget John Rahm. I forgot to mention him. I want to throw him in there. But these are the guys the tour needs to continue to be competitive, to keep the sponsors' money coming in and the TV ratings high. This is what the PGA Tour is going to build on. These are the guys they're going to build around going forward. Tiger, Phil, they were great. They're wonderful. Jack Nicklaus, he was great. Arnold Palmer, he was great. Those guys now are all past their primes. I think I'm saying that for Tiger. We'll see. He'll maybe prove me wrong next year. But these are the guys that we want to see, Carlos, and these are the guys that I think golfing public wants to see.
But that's the question, because you put it that way, but when you go out and you say, okay, like it happened with this coworker of mine, they're not marquee names, or at least not the players that are really uh, getting the TV ratings. They are playing amazing. It's a great golf to see because that's what it is. But name wise, when you mention Scotty Scheffler, even though he's the world beater right now, the world's #1, and he's on a kind of a slump, right? To him, that T21 may Scott T13 after those 4 wins and second places is like, what's happening with Scotty Scheffler now, right? And Cam Smith, you say Patrick Cantley, even Sander, the gold medal winner. He won the Travelers, which was the other tournament that you were mentioning, alongside with the team tournament and the Genesis Scottish Open. He should be another name that everybody should get excited about, but they don't. Even Colin Morikawa, who's having his mini slump, we haven't talked about him a lot. He's gone down on the ratings. He was #2 at the end of 2021. Now is all the way down to 8. Victor Hovland is up and coming. Great college career, very well known, but again, it's not moving the needle. Neither is Matt Fitzpatrick. So the British Open ratings are not up there when you come to think about what you're expecting. And some of that is because even though you say the PGA Tour is in a good place, and it is, because the rating, the people are not going, but the LIV somehow has taken some of that heat, and that's the players that have gone there as well were the ones making all the headlines in the PGA Tour, whether we like it or not, good or bad. They were the guys that were getting all the headlines. It's like right now, if DJ or Bryson would have won, you would have known that this wasn't about the Open at all. It would have been about, oh my God, one of the LIV guys, which both of them play very well. Oh, one of the LIV guys won. So the problem is we still have that division, right? Between we're still talking about LIV here, PGA Tour here, even though the PGA Tour is definitely the best product at this time because have the best players and amazing golf. I mean, like you mentioned, this Sunday was amazing for Cam Smith, and still, it hasn't been moving the needle. That's the only worry I see from the PGA Tour, how they're going to do that. And I see from Rory McIlroy a little bit of trying to take that mental on. I think he has been revitalized by the challenge of, I am going to carry on the mental now. Hey, I am the top player in the world, which really, we have said this about Rory McIlroy. When Rory is in, he's the best player in the world, hands down. Nobody else has his presence. Nobody else has his skills, and definitely he's the one that we
his
should
charisma,
be
his charisma too.
Yeah, and he, the things with him is that he has gotten into trouble sometimes, but the things he says, he's honest, and some people don't like some of the things that he has said, and I don't expect that to change, but I think that he has been revitalized by this, and now the PGA Tour should be wise to try to exploit that.
Well, Carlos, and I want to take just a little different tack as well. We're in the post-Tiger, the post-Phil. Phil and Tiger have been the face of the PGA Tour for a long, long time, okay? And so there's bound to be an adjustment time frame here where these young players have to prove themselves, and they have to say, okay, yeah, they have to know themselves that they can do this week in and week out. They have to accept it. It's not, you can be a good player for a short period of time, but then the pressures of all the expectations fall down on you. I mean, Bobby Jones quit playing at a very young age because he just couldn't handle everyone else's expectations and the gambler's expectations of what he should be doing. He said, fine, I just quit. I don't need this, And so the player has to want to accept, he has to want to wear that mantle of being the best player and being in contention week in and week out. It's not an easy task. And Rory can tell you about it. He's been there before. So and he slipped back into a comfortable existence just playing along. But now, like you say, he sees that, hey, I can be someone who takes this on. I can be the leader for the PGA Tour. I think it's fantastic. The way he played in the Open was fantastic. Carlos, I bottom line it. I don't know. I think we don't want to get too excited because we are in the post-Tiger, post-Phil era, and we got to let these young guys develop. But I think the PGA Tour is in pretty good shape, especially with this group of 10 or 15, 20 guys. And then there's also guys out there we don't even know yet that the new rules, the way the PGA Tour is going to limit exemptions going forward, these guys are going to be able to jump up a lot quicker as well.
Yeah, and just to close it from my end, you hit it on the head of the nail there about, because my response to my coworker was exactly on that end. It's like, you know what? I think Rory right now, the reason why he's also feeling this challenge and revitalizes, because what you mentioned, Tiger, I don't think Tiger is going to be back. Unfortunately, we have to start looking past what Tiger was, what we saw there and what we have been seeing. I don't think realistically, that limp is not going to go away.
If you want to see a metaphor, then you need to have been watching Friday when Tiger was coming in on 18 and Rory was going out on number 1. That was the same kind of thing we saw with Tiger and Nicklaus a few years ago. It's the changing of the guard. I think we saw it Friday.
Yeah, and well, it's sad in a way that you say, well, this is it for Tiger. I know he got the year wrong about when the next Open is going to be in St. Andrews, but I really don't see him really coming back to it. So we have to give time to this new guard to take over. And there's a couple of other guys that we didn't mention right now that are a little farther behind, but hey, Will Zalatoris, that I keep talking about. Hey, second in the US Open, second in the PGA Championship, T6 in the Masters, and started a little bit far here in the Open, had a lot to do, but he didn't make it. But that's a guy that's been there creeping up. Max Homa, another young guy, 2 wins already this year. Nobody's talking about him. There's plenty of young players out there already. We
Sam
just
Burns.
have to. Sam, we mentioned him. He's 11th right now in the OG WR. So it's something that we just have to give time. It's a changing of times. There's a new faces coming up. We just have to give them the time to do it. And I think the PGA Tour is in a good spot as well. They have the players, they have the product. LIV is not gonna go anywhere, and there's gonna be some that are gonna go there. I just think there's gonna be something at the end that we are gonna see a final product between both. But at this time, the PGA Tour, we just have to give time to these new players to really flourish on their own.
Agree 100%, Carlos.
All right. So anyway, we can't wait to see the end of the season right now for the PGA Tour, and it's about to close with the FedEx Cup. It's in great shape, great players. Scotty Scheffler, Cameron Smith, Rory McIlroy playing amazing. Don't discount John Ram. Hey, Colin Morikawa might come back at some point again and be atop of the leaderboards. He's not mini slump. Patrick Cantley playing amazingly. So hey, plenty of top players. Can't wait to see what's happening. But so far, so good. It's always great to see first-time winners in the majors all the time. So any final words, Fred?
Nope, all good.
All right. Thank you for joining us. It's always our pleasure to bring you the latest in world golf news and informations. Remember to subscribe to our channel. The information on how to do it is right out there in the bio. Thank you for joining.